What up, my fellow Knicks fans? This is your guy Marcellus Ease. Don't panic quite yet. Now, hopefully everyone's staying safe out there during this pandemic, catching up with all types of documentaries, especially this Last Dance. Our Knicks, man, in this past episode was looking really good, man. Back to 94, 93 Knicks. Man, they should have showed us a little bit more love. You know, they should have ran a couple of songs through, you know? Go New York, go yeah, I know what I'm talking about. Say go New York, go New York, go! Yeah, the Knicks was popping, man. Say go New York, go New York, yeah. You guys already know, man, when the Knicks are on point, the whole league is looking a lot different. But it is what it is. A lot of things started happening, you know, even though we're semi into the offseason, but not really into the offseason. Leon Rose, he's making a couple of moves. He hired Brooke Allen out of Cleveland. This guy is sort of like one of these nerd salary cap architects. He kind of helped LeBron kind of formulate new teams, even though Cleveland was kind of cap strapped. You know, they worked out the J.R. Smith trade. You know, they kept switching their teams. But, you know, there's an archetype behind all this. There's an architect behind all this. And one of the guys was Brooke Allen. So that's one of the first hires of Leon Rose. And Leon Rose also kept Scott Perry on the books for another year. Me, in my personal opinion, I believe, you know, Leon Rose should bring in his own guys. But more than likely, James Dolan just doesn't want to, you know, pay out Scott Perry. I guess his executive fee, you know, when you fire an executive, you normally got to pay them out. So they just might as well let him rock for another year, see how it works out. But Scott Perry, in his tenure in the NBA, man, he's always had subpar teams below 500. I don't think he's ever been a GM of a team that's just been above 500. But we'll see how that works out. But the Knicks, you know, who knows what's really going to go down next season. I mean, as far as especially a head coach, that's going to be another important hire for Leon Rose. I mean, Mike Miller, he's doing his thing, though. I cannot front about that, because if you look at RJ Barrett and especially Frank Ntilikina, they definitely have responded to his coaching. I mean, especially Frank. Frank looked way more confident towards the end of the season, but it's still kind of early to tell. But the Knicks overall were playing a lot better defense under Mike Miller. Now, there's rumors floating around that Tom Thibodeau is a possible new hire for the Knicks. I hope that's not true, because Tom Thibodeau likes that old thing back, and he tried to do that up in Minnesota by getting Jimmy Butler and Derrick Rose and trying to make it look like his old team. I believe he's a one-trick pony coach. He's really an assistant coach, in my personal opinion, more defensive-minded, kind of old school. You know, this league right now is really an offensive league, and I don't think schematics works in his favor as far as on the offensive end. But we'll see what moves they make. The Knicks, in their last time that they hired a new coach in David Fizdale, they did skip over that coach in Milwaukee. I believe Bonehoser, something like that. He was available for the Knicks to take, and they passed on him. And as you can see in Milwaukee, he took over for Jason Kidd, and he actually brought Giannis to a different level, as well as that team. So hopefully the Knicks can be a bit more strategic, kind of find guys that are good with the X's and O's, especially with the NBA adapting to a more offensive-minded league. Now, moving on to Kevin Knox, it's kind of ridiculous this season, because just to open off the season, you know, the Knicks getting all these power forwards on the team, it was kind of ridiculous, man. And, you know, even DeMarcus Cousins could co-sign to that.
I hope the world can see now what's really going on out here, because it's getting ridiculous. It's really ridiculous.
Yeah, Kevin Knox, man, he wasn't even hurt this past season, and his minutes are completely down, especially towards the end of the season. Even after they trade Marcus Morris, his minutes was still down. He's still playing about 15 minutes a game. I mean, for the whole season this year, he averaged about 10 minutes less than the previous season. And, you know, in the beginning of the year, they kind of gave the green light to Marcus Morris to do his best Allen Iverson impersonation, taking all these last, you know, fourth quarter, last minute shots. It was really awkward. Like, why is Marcus Morris in his, I believe, 10th year in the league, you know, trying to act like he's Allen Iverson when they, you know, paid for guys like Julius Randle, and they have guys like RJ Barrett that they're invested in for the future? It just didn't make any sense. And Kevin Knox, man, he definitely, you know, got less touches, less shot attempts, less minutes. I mean, he's sort of like the forgotten man this season. It's really weird. but I'm not sure if he's in their plans in the future. The Knicks not really kind of putting him on the trade block. It's just a lot of question marks surrounding Knox. But hopefully going forward, there could be a new plan for him, because under Mike Miller so far, even after them trading Marcus Morris, Mike Miller just, it seems like he's not fucking with Knox at all, even after all that. But we'll see what happens with Knox. That's a good question there. Speaking of question marks, what the hell the Knicks are going to do with Alonzo Trier, man? I mean, this past trade deadline, I figured that the Knicks would trade him to at least get something back for him, because whenever this offseason is going to happen, he's going to be unrestricted free agent. And there's going to be a lot of teams that's going to be very interested in a guy like that who can create his own shot off the dribble, you know, get some points maybe off the bench or in a slighter, you know, a slightly higher role player role, I guess. But there's going to be teams interested in a guy like that. So why would the Knicks just not play him for most of, you know, his contract year and then sort of just let the trade deadline come and go? This shit doesn't make any sense.
I'm confused. I'm confused right now.
Yeah, I'm definitely confused about that, but it is what it is. I mean, there's a lot of question marks regarding to, you know, a lot of young guys going forward and what's the development going to be like. Because like I said, Mike Miller, even though he took over for the Knicks for about 20-something games, we've seen him still not play guys like Kevin Knox and Alonzo Trier. So what's going on with that going forward? I mean, I'm pretty sure if upper management wanted those guys to get more burn, they would be pressing the coach in order to make a change, because they've done it before. I mean, look at guys like Marcus Morris. So what was the point of just letting this guy take a bunch of shots? I mean, it is what it is. But like I said, with Leon Rose, with this new guy that he hired, Brock Allen, hopefully they can figure out a way to leverage this salary cap into getting sort of more polished veteran guys that perhaps other championship teams will try to go after, but the Knicks will just grab them up just to hold them and perhaps get a draft pick for them later on, the same way like the Memphis Grizzlies kind of made that move with Andre Iguodala. They had no plans to play this guy. They just basically held him just to get a free draft pick for a team that was contending for a championship. Especially this season with the championship being wide open, there was going to be teams that were going to, you know, give up picks in order to get a guy like Iguodala. So the Knicks can basically leverage the free cap space that they have the same way, getting guys that are kind of on expiring contracts, that are kind of, you know, seasoned vets that are still kind of good, but older players, and then just kind of leverage that into trading those assets away to contending teams to get draft picks or other assets. I mean, it is what it is. But everyone out here in NYC, you guys stay safe. Prayers up for you and your family. And hopefully we get an NBA season going. Hopefully it's just maybe in a gym, maybe with no crowd, at least to get the playoffs in, to see if Kawhi Leonard is going to beat LeBron James or vice versa, because this year's playoffs was going to be turned up, man. And it'll be a shame that we end up losing out on this. But you guys stay safe. Until next time, peace.